Imagine using GitHub CoPilot's agent mode with plain English to create Power BI reports, dashboards, semantic models, and DAX measures, instantly querying last quarter's sales trends or exploring data relationships while it automatically learns your model structure and self-corrects errors. That's the breakthrough of the Power BI Modeling MCP server. And today I'm showing you how to connect it to Power BI desktop files to auto-generate rich documentation. This builds on my previous MS SQL tips article using Fabric Semantic Link and OpenAI, but now with CoPilot Agent Mode's autonomous capabilities that understand your exact PBIX structure and deliver business-ready descriptions 90% faster. Watch me connect VS Code Agent Mode to a live MCP server, read real semantic models, and generate professional documentation. It's perfect for data engineers escaping documentation debt, BI leads scaling governance, and business teams needing proper documentation. If you want enterprise Power BI where agentic AI meets semantic models and documentation stays perpetually fresh, this is your workflow. So let's build it live. Power BI MCP servers let AI agents like GitHub CoPilot interact with your semantic models through natural language. One builds and edits models programmatically, the other queries data using CoPilot's DAX engine. Check the Microsoft Learn doc in the description if you want the full technical breakdown. For this demo, we're using the Power BI Modeling MCP server, Microsoft's local server that brings full semantic modeling superpowers to GitHub CoPilot, letting you edit tables, measures, relationships, and even run bulk operations across hundreds of objects using plain English commands. It can connect to Power BI Desktop, Fabric workspaces, and PBIP files. Alright, let's get your environment ready. Fire up VS Code with the GitHub CoPilot extension. That's what connects CoPilot's agent mode to our MCP server. You'll also need GitHub CoPilot Chat enabled because that's how we send natural language commands to analyze and document the model. Make sure your Power BI Modeling MCP server is running locally. I've got the setup link in the description. Finally, open a PBIX desktop report file. I'm using Microsoft's Store Sales Sample, so we have real tables, measures, and relationships for the CoPilot to document. The Store Sales report contains several pages with visuals along with a data model and some data. Once you've got these four pieces running, VS Code, CoPilot extensions, MCP server, and PBIX file, we're ready to let Agent Mode auto-generate professional documentation from our semantic model. Here in VS Code Agent Mode, you can see my model options: Claude Haiku 4.5, GPT-4o, GPT-5 Mini, and Raptor. As a best practice, leave it on auto so CoPilot picks the optimal model for each task automatically. Ensure that the Agent Mode dropdown is selected, not Edit Mode. That's what gives CoPilot the autonomy to connect to our PBI Modeling MCP server, read the semantic model structure, and execute multi-step documentation generation across tables, measures, and relationships. Also, ensure that the Power BI Modeling MCP is installed and active by checking the tools configuration. You can view the operations that are accessible to the MCP and what they do. Let's go ahead and give it our first prompt, asking it to connect to the open Power BI desktop file called Store Sales. In a few seconds, it'll confirm it was able to connect successfully. Before we proceed, let me show you how to add custom instructions here. You can create these as part of CoPilot's planning mode to enforce your team's data modeling standards, DAX naming conventions, design patterns, or best practices, ensuring that generated documentation always matches your enterprise governance. Next, I'm asking CoPilot to list all tables, columns, measures in the semantic model with a brief description of each. This command lets the agent mode scan our Store Sales sample through the MCP server and inventory everything, giving us the complete model structure and then generating rich descriptions, which we can use for documentation. Perfect output from CoPilot. And yes, I can always refine these descriptions with follow-up prompts. Now let me show you exactly where these go. In the Properties panel for each column and measure, there's a description field. When populated, users can see these descriptions as tooltips when hovering over fields in the report builder. Now you could type these manually with CoPilot, but no one has time to do this consistently across hundreds or thousands of columns. That's why we're going to have agent mode plus MCP server write them directly to the model automatically. I'm prompting CoPilot, add these descriptions to the respective columns and measures in the store sales semantic model. A few seconds later, boom, it confirms all columns updated successfully. Let me verify in Power BI Desktop, and there they are. Every column and measure now has rich professional descriptions magically populated in the Properties panel. Hover tooltips ready for your report builders and consumers. With another prompt, I ask CoPilot to create a calculated table called documentation that lists every table, column, measure, and a full sentence description for each. I also have it generate a documentation report page based on that table, so the entire model's documentation is available in one place for anyone who opens the report. Let's head back to Power BI, and sure enough, we've got the documentation table and the page. This is a game changer. Now every analyst, stakeholder, or new team member who opens this report instantly gets complete, always current model documentation without hunting through folders or asking, what does this field mean? Let's connect this back to my original article where I used Fabric Semantic Link plus OpenAI to generate Power BI documentation. That approach laid the foundation for enterprise scalability, including custom prompts for your standards, any LLM you prefer, and bulk operations across thousands of columns with hundreds of reports across workspaces, all while maintaining governance. This is how professional Power BI teams work in 2026. Subscribe today for more enterprise AI workflows. Thanks for watching.